Neoliberalism, a resurgence of classical liberal ideas. Neoliberalism can be seen as a revival of classical liberal economic principles with a particular emphasis on free markets, deregulation, and limited government intervention. It emerged in the 1970s and 1980s in response to the perceived failures of Keynesian economics and welfare state. Its proponents argued that government intervention in the economy had led to inflation, inefficiency, and the stifling of economic growth. The key tenets of neoliberalism. Neoliberalism is characterized by a set of core principles that have shaped economic and social policies around the world. Deregulation. Neoliberals advocate for reducing government regulations on businesses and markets, arguing that this will promote competition, innovation, and economic growth. Privatization. They favor transferring state-owned enterprises and services to the private sector, believing that private ownership is more efficient and effective. Free trade. Neoliberals champion the removal of barriers to international trade, such as tariffs and quotas, arguing that free trade benefits all countries by promoting specialization and efficiency. Fiscal austerity. They often advocate for reducing government spending and balancing budgets, even during economic downturns, believing that this is necessary to maintain economic stability. Monetarism. They prioritize controlling inflation through monetary policy, often by raising interest rates rather than through fiscal policy. The rise of neoliberalism, a global phenomenon. Neoliberal ideas gained traction in the 1980s under the leadership of figures like Ronald Reagan in the United States and Margaret Thatcher in the United Kingdom. These leaders implemented policies of deregulation, privatization, and tax cuts, which they argued would unleash economic growth and prosperity. Neoliberalism's influence spread rapidly as international financial institutions like the International Monetary Fund or IMF and the World Bank began to promote these policies in developing countries. The Washington Consensus, a set of neoliberal policy prescriptions, became the dominant economic model for much of the world. The impact of neoliberalism, a mixed bag. Neoliberalism has had a profound impact on the global economy and society, but its legacy is mixed. Some impacts are as follows. Economic growth and equality. While neoliberalism has been credited with promoting economic growth in some countries, it has also been associated with rising inequality. The benefits of economic growth have not been evenly distributed, with the rich getting richer and the poor often left behind. Globalization and financialization. Neoliberalism has played a key role in accelerating globalization as it has encouraged the free flow of goods, capital, and labor across borders. This has led to increased interconnectedness and economic integration, but it has also made economies more vulnerable to shocks and crises. Social dislocation and political backlash. The rapid changes brought about by neoliberalism have led to social dislocation and a backlash against globalization in many parts of the world. This has manifested in the rise of populist movements and a growing skepticism towards free trade and open markets. The future of neoliberalism, a contested terrain. The global financial crisis of 2008 dealt a major blow to the credibility of neoliberalism. Many critics argue that its emphasis on deregulation and financialization contributed to the crisis. In recent years, there has been a growing pushback against neoliberal policies, with calls for greater government intervention to address inequality, protect workers' rights, and mitigate the negative effects of globalization. The future of neoliberalism is uncertain. While it remains a powerful force in global politics and economics, it faces growing challenges and criticism. The debate over the role of government in economy and society is far from over, and the legacy of neoliberalism will continue to be a subject of intense discussion and debate for years to come.